Welcome back, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed that video, and please do let me know if you had any technical difficulties while you were trying to access the video. We're going to jump right back in and start by talking about what guidance is not. Guidance is not just reacting to problems, and sometimes, especially when we are unsure of what to do, reacting is all we can do. So don't feel bad if you feel like you do have moments where you are just reacting. But just know that with time and with skill and practice, you will move beyond simply reacting to actually employing the guidance strategies that we explore in this class. Guidance does not mean that the program isn't educational. There's this idea that if we really focus on social and emotional skills, that there's little room for more academic or educational skills to be acquired. Take to heart that for children to be successful academically, they first need to be confident socially and emotionally. If we desire children to be successful academically, when we employ guidance, we are setting children up for success. Guidance is not a sometime thing. It is an all day, everyday thing. Children should know what to expect. They should recognize that the interactions of the adults in the classroom are ones that are positive and supportive. There's this idea that if discipline is not used in the classroom, or if guidance is only used, and children are not being directed or corrected, that the teachers are really permissive or too forgiving of children's misbehavior. That is not the point at all. Guidance is meant to be supportive and should be viewed um, guidance is meant to be supportive and should view children in ways that encourage their strengths and acknowledge their development. Guidance should be the tool used by teachers to support children as they learn how to engage in social interactions that are appropriate for the classroom. What is guidance? Guidance is really understanding that mistaken behaviors are caused by inexperience in social situations and can take into adulthood to really be fully learned. I'm sure that we can each think of an adult that is still working on some aspect of their social development. Guidance is also something that takes great teacher-parent partnerships, and we'll look more at teacher-parent partnerships in the coming week. This week, you will be reading about parent-teacher partnerships and be responding to that chapter in your text for the reading assignment. Teachers who team work with other adults, whether you're working at a family home provider or a preschool or childcare center or in an elementary school, you will be surrounded by other adults that you should see as your teammates, as your partners, as people that you can go to for support. And we'll talk more about that in just a minute and what happens when these supportive relationships don't exist. Guidance encompasses a full spectrum of methods from prevention to conflict resolution to crisis intervention. Prevention really just means the tools that a teacher employs in a classroom to keep challenging behaviors from happening. We can't prevent all challenging behaviors or all mistaken behavior, and sometimes we need to employ conflict resolution. We need to help children understand how to work through their problems, how to use their words to work through their problems, and then how to reflect on the problems when they arise. Sometimes mistaken behavior, if it's that top tier of mistaken behavior where there's an unmet need, sometimes guidance really is crisis intervention and being a positive support to a family and to a child. How do teachers reduce the need for mistaken behavior? One, they need to make sure that they are practicing developmentally effective approaches to early childhood education. There shouldn't be a lot of wait time. One of our assignments is on transition strategies. When you use transition strategies effectively, wait time for the children in your classroom is reduced. There's less time of children sitting or standing with nothing to do. Usually we see mistaken behaviors arise when children are made to wait. An example would be at lunchtime. Have you been to a classroom, maybe you do this, so don't take this the wrong way, but Have you been to the classroom where all the children have to wash their hands, then they sit down, then they pass the food around, and then they do an open shut them song, and once everybody is settled, then the food is starting to get passed. But children can't wait until everyone's been served. Now the young child that comes to your classroom who maybe didn't eat breakfast and maybe won't eat dinner has just waited probably a good 15 minutes with the food in front of them, and they're going to act accordingly. They're probably going to reach into a bowl. They're probably going to start eating before everybody else, and sometimes that can feel disruptive to a teacher. Think about how wait time impacts children. Think about how children's development really sets the tone for how they respond to wait time, and make sure that you're reducing these moments. Think about the kids who really can't manage the wait time, who need that extra support. Teachers reduce the risk of mistaken behavior when there are plenty of choices available. That might mean if you have one favorite dump truck in the block area and you notice that it's causing problems, you need to get more of those favorite dump trucks so that the other children can play, or have another favorable choice ready. Remember that changing up activities and schedules, while exciting, can sometimes cause undue stress for some children. If you are making a change to your daily schedule, give children plenty of warning, right? Talk about it a week before and keep talking about it so that they expect the change and they're going to be more ready for that change in their schedule. Teachers need to practice positive teacher-child behavior. Positive teacher-child behavior is accepting each child as a welcome member of your classroom, recognizing their differences, their strengths, and their individuality. Avoid singling out children for criticism or praise. Use positive feedback to prevent embarrassment and unnecessary competition. But remember that sometimes if you are using praise, think about how that praise is being used, right? Are you spreading praise evenly amongst children in your classroom? You don't want to be creating unnecessary competition between children. If you're having to talk to children individually about their behavior or have those supportive conversations with individual children, maybe be very intentional about talking to that child privately. You don't want to embarrass or single them out or cause undue criticism, which might result in their self-esteem being lessened or lowered. Teachers use intervention methods that are solution-oriented. Ask yourself, is the intervention method you might be using or that you choose, is it solution-oriented? The teacher uses classroom challenges and individual behaviors as an opportunity to help children learn appropriate social interactions. We will talk more about parent-teacher partnerships next week, but just know that parent-teacher partnerships play a key role in how children interact in the environment. The goal is that children are receiving consistent messages from home and in school, and that the child knows the difference between the expectations at home, at school, and the teachers and parents are having open communications. Things will go much smoother. Similarly, working with other adults, it may be in the family home providing setting, it may be the preschool setting, it may be a childcare facility or an elementary school, but you need to know who the key players are, who you can go to for support if you need support. If you have cohesive staff that really support each other, you're going to see people feeling better about their work. And classroom expectations need to be agreed upon. They need to be practiced consistently, right? That's where the children know what is expected in the classroom. Maybe some of you have experienced when two teachers in the classroom do not agree or maybe have different classroom expectations. The outcome is usually not good. Along with having a cohesive staff, staff members also need to feel supported. Administrators and fellow staff members should be checking in regularly to see how best to support each other. And finally, Guidance is part of the movement toward developmentally appropriate and culturally responsive education. So this ends our narrated PowerPoint presentation on moving beyond discipline to guidance. I hope that this has been thought-provoking enough that you want a little bit more, and I encourage you to turn to your textbook and to our discussion board this week to really dig a little bit deeper.